Hello everyone, my name is Anukriti Sharma. I'm a business and a social etiquette expert and I work for Aerostar Aviation Academy. Today we are going to speak about the very important dining etiquette rule about no elbows on the table. Do we need to follow it today? When and how did it originate? And does it hold social relevance in today's times? So let's go back in history. During the medieval times, they used to use these pretty unstable trestle tables and they would put these benches out and sheets of wood on top. So if you would, by accident, put your elbows on the table, you could tip the table and the food might just fall all over the place. I'm sure that would be an untidy sight. It would be rather unsightly and nobody would enjoy their meal in a surrounding where there is food all over. Now, do we really need to follow it today? Short answer, yes. And why? Simply because it leads to proper posture, proper form, which denotes a sign of alertness, a sign of genuine interest in the conversation that's taking place at the table, and also a sign of interest in the food which has been prepared by the chef. If you were, on the other hand, if you were to keep your elbows on the table, it could denote laziness and a sign of disengagement from the conversation as far as your body language is concerned. Keeping your elbows on the table is an example of poor form and you must avoid that at all times. So we still follow the etiquette rule of no elbows on the table to date. However, in the same video, I'm also going to debunk the same etiquette rule. We cannot break this rule in a professional setup, in a corporate or a business setup. However, if we shift to an informal setup and if you were to have an informal dinner with a bunch of friends, you could probably take the liberty of resting your elbows on the table from time to time. Now, if you were to be at a burger joint or a cafe, if you would be out at a cafe enjoying a casual or an informal meal with your friends, you're out with your friends and enjoying, then it's probably okay to rest your elbows on the table from time to time. And also if you are at an informal dinner with your friends, once the main course has been served and removed and the table is empty, before the dessert is served, it's probably okay to rest your elbows on the table while you're chit-chatting with your friends. So when you just have your tea or coffee in front of you and there's no other food kept on the table, which means that the surface of the table is relatively clear and you have more space on the table for you to keep your elbows on, it's then okay to rest your elbows on the table for a brief span of time. However, as a part of social grace, when it comes to ladies could probably rest their elbows for slightly longer on the table in comparison to men, because as a part of social grace, it's acceptable when it comes to ladies because they could show their beautiful rings, they could show off their bracelets or jewelry while keeping their elbows on the table, while resting their elbows on the table. So women, in comparison to men, could probably use more time resting their elbows on the table to flaunt their jewelry. But then again, that's a part of social grace.